Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be checking out the new iPhone app from Arcade1up. Now, I know a lot of YouTubers have already showed this app. It's fairly self-explanatory, it's fairly basic in what it does today. But I wanted to draw upon over 20 years experience in enterprise software, in digital transformation in very large enterprises. And I wanted to give you some of my thoughts in terms of what do I think this app holds for the future of Arcade1up, and how can they leverage this as a platform to add better services and products to their portfolio for their customers and increase their revenue. So let's check out the app first, and then in the second part of the video I'm going to be giving you some ideas and some things that I think you should look out for in the future from Arcade1up.
Hey Doc, we better back up. We don't have enough road to get up to 88.
Roads? Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Okay, so running on an iPhone 13 here, downloaded the app previous to this video, set up a profile, you can add a picture. Once you start adding cabinets, you'll see your high scores on the leaderboards on the home page here. And as we scroll down, you can see your cabinets. So you can see all of the cabinets that we have here in the arcade. And then you've also got a news feed on this homepage as well. So if you missed out on Marvel vs. Capcom 2, for example, you can see that's back in stock, and there's a link here so you can go get your hands on one of those at just $5.99. So that's the homepage. And you can also go to games. You can search for different games here. So I was on Battletoads there. If you want to have a look at Battle Circuit, for example, you can see that's available on a couple of different cabinets there. You can expand and see gameplay tips and tricks for different games, interesting facts, and just get some more information about those games, as well as a quick link to go straight to the leaderboard there. Then you've also got a community tab. So if you want to add people in there, we've got John D on there. You can search for anybody and request that they add you. And you can view your friends here. You can send messages. If you want to jump on a game, for example, you could ping somebody if you were looking for an online game. Notifications, you saw that from the home page as well. But there's a separate tab here for it. And then under more, you can do things like change your account. You can go directly to the Arcade1up shop and shop for cabinets. Now, if you want to add a cabinet, so if we go back to the home page, you can see my cabinets. There's a little plus button down the bottom right here. So we can click add. Let's say, for example, we finally caved in and bought Shinku Hadouken, even though we already have Yoga Flame and 2 other Street Fighter cabinets. Let's say we wanted to add this, you can click add. And then what you can also do is register directly from the app. And what's cool here is the machine will have a barcode on it. And you can click scan to just then go ahead and scan the barcode on the, or the QR code, in fact, on the system. Add that in. And it's going to also give you an extended warranty for your troubles doing that. I'm going to click not now. I don't have that cabinet, so I will go back in here and I will remove that. So yeah, very cool little app. Companies that go through a period of digital transformation are going to invest. I'm pretty sure they wouldn't have just added this app for these basic features. I think there's a lot more to come. So let's talk about that.
Okay, relax, Doc. It's me. It's Mark.
Oh, I can't just sent you back to the future.
Oh, I know you did send me back to the future, but I'm back. I'm back from the future.
Okay, so forgive the use of PowerPoint, but this is what I would do in my day job. So if you glaze over at this point, I don't blame you. If you want to carry on listening, I'm going to go through current state. This is not a list in its entirety. and then talk about which of these points might be improved by the app and what I think might be coming in the future. Safe harbor statement, nothing that I'm going to suggest. I know I don't have any inside information. This is all speculation, or if you will, things that I might do if I worked for Arcade1up. So let's take a look at the current state first. Obviously, one of the big things about Arcade1up is they have a multi-cabinet sales model. They don't want to damage that by allowing you to download and install games on a single cabinet. That's not really the market they're going after. They don't compete, in my opinion, with people like At-Games. At-Games are kind of focused more at the single cabinet buyer who doesn't have much space, wants to get a single cabinet and play additional games on that. People who buy Arcade1up products, for the most part, I think, are looking to try and recreate some of that nostalgia they remember from a kid frequenting arcades. They want to have multiple cabinets in their house and will continue to do so. So anything that Arcade1up does with the app will not want to damage that sales model. Having said that, if they do release a new game, that means as a consumer you're typically going to have to buy a new cabinet. So that kind of limits the revenue they can get from everybody, where we got up to about 30 cabinets, and even with a 4,000 square foot house, I've decided now it's probably time to downsize a little bit. You can't keep buying new cabinets forever. There is going to be a limit on the revenue they can get from the fan base if they need to keep adding new cabinets all the time. The other thing is, if we compare this to a software company, it would be akin to selling perpetual licenses, where someone buys the product, they own the product, they don't have to pay you any more money to continue to use that product. And as such, there's no recurring revenue. I'm sure Arcade1up has got some strong annual bookings, but to continue to drive and increase revenue from previous years, they're really going to have to change something up to continue to sell more cabinets. Target market, I don't think there's much they can do about this. They're primarily selling 80s and 90s arcade games, and as such, I think their target market is kind of middle-aged men in the US. If I look at my own YouTube channel, for example, that's where 90% of my subscriber base comes from. One of the best things about Arcade1up is obviously the licensing. They've got really strong IP. They have a patent around the 3/4 scale cabinet, and they obviously have some licensing in place with some of the biggest names in the business, from Midway to Sega to Capcom. These are licenses that they've got that other companies in this space either don't have the ability to go get, or maybe it's just too expensive for their business model. So this is something fairly unique to Arcade1up, and will continue to drive value, I'm sure. Now, some other things: best-in-class customer support. I've got support from all three main home arcade companies, 4 in fact, and Arcade1up support is second to none. They've been providing parts and warranty outside of what they need to, and that, for me, their customer support has always been fantastic. They do have limited distribution outside the US. I'm obviously from the UK originally. I'm in a couple of the UK groups on Facebook. Outside of the US, people do complain they don't get the same cabinets. There's a limited supply. What they do get is pricier than the US if you just do the basic currency conversion. And then finally, they do have strong support from major US and international partners, so the likes of Best Buy, Walmart, GameStop. They're all there with models to sell Arcade1up cabinets either online or in their stores. So that's kind of as I see the current state. There's obviously a lot of opportunity there, and some of these things I think can and probably will be affected by the app. So let's talk about that next. Okay, so as I said, I have no inside information, but these are a couple of things that I think Arcade1up could do to really provide a better experience for their customers using this app as a platform. So, future state. I really see this app evolving into a avenue for additional revenue from add-on games, while at the same time maintaining a multi-cabinet sales model. Now, how would they achieve that? Well, here's an idea. There's obviously 100 ways they could do this, but this is what I think would be cool. So I envisage a central store on the app. From this store, you would be able to buy hardware either direct from Arcade1up or through its partners as well. Once you have a cabinet, so for example, they would release a new Konami cabinet that could be themed by a particular game like Turtles or Simpsons still, but you would then be able to buy additional games within that franchise. So for example, if you bought a Turtles cabinet, a Konami cabinet, you could then add on Simpsons, you could add Sunset Riders and other games. If you bought a Capcom cabinet, so let's say you bought Marvel vs. Capcom 2, it would obviously have that game preloaded, but you would then be able to add on Street Fighter 2, Marvel vs. Capcom, Street Fighter Third Strike. So they would still maintain this multi-cabinet sales model, but you could expand games within a franchise on a particular cabinet. You could do that on the app, you could add the game or a game pack, and it would download to that cabinet automatically over Wi-Fi. Now, how would they charge for this? Well, as I said, in the kind of current state, I think the kind of gap in the valuation for Arcade1up is that they have this kind of perpetual licensing model, if you will, where you buy a cabinet and there's no future revenue for that cabinet. So I think they need to start looking at how can they drive recurring revenue. In the software space, we call this ARR, or annual recurring revenue. So I would suggest some kind of subscription. They could, of course, charge per game, but I don't think that hits a business goal there. I would expect to see a monthly subscription, maybe for all games within a particular franchise. So if you've got a Konami cabinet, you could pay a monthly subscription for that cabinet. By default, you would just play Turtles or whatever the marquee title was, and then for a monthly fee for that cabinet, you could play all other games that they have in that particular franchise. They might even have like a quarter per play, so 25 cents a play or something, and you add an account and you add coins. There could even be an annual fee. They could do this for a single cab, or maybe there'd be a discount. So if you've got a Konami cab and a Capcom cab and you then add a Sega cab, maybe once you get to kind of like an unlimited model, for example, you could have that then on multiple cabinets. I don't know. Either way, I think for Arcade1up to progress and to see their valuation as a company increase, they need to find a way of getting to that subscription-based pricing model, so they have more predictable annual revenue, not only from the hardware of the cabinets, but from that software subscription as well. All right, so what do you think? Do you think I'm crazy? Do you think this is something Arcade1up is never going to do? Or do you think this is a cool idea? Let me know what you think in the comments, and we'll continue the discussion there, I guess. But there's 101 different things they could do with the app. This is just something I thought of. I'm pretty confident they wouldn't have gone to the trouble of the investment in the app as it stands today. I'm pretty sure they've got some pretty cool plans for this app going forwards. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. Other than that, I'll leave you to get back to your day. Happy gaming, and we'll see you on the next one.